Welcome to another video report from Hudson's on the spot guide service. I'm going to try to keep it quick here, but we got some very good news for some new ice here in our area. The ice in the bay is doing great. We got ice from all the way to Ashland, all the way up to Houghton Point, kind of curves around over to Long Island. But now from that Houghton Point area north, all the way up past here, Bayfield wise, in past Red Cliff, we got a new layer of ice. Yesterday. So it's sticking around. Doesn't look like we got any big winds in the near forecast. Do got some snow. Snowed a little bit today, and we got some snow on top of that new ice. But by next weekend, not this weekend, but by next weekend, we should be fishing on that new ice from say the Bodines area, up around the Sioux and the Onion, all the way up north of Bayfield, and maybe even sneaking over to Basswood Island. But we need some time, need some cold temps still, but it's pretty exciting. Up into the channels, going north, lake trout fishing up to Madeline, that was still all open today, that deep water. But the shallower stuff, about halfway up Basswood on the east side, northeast side of Basswood, was froze over to Madeline, and then all the way back south to the South Channel, and I said to Long Island, and back over to Houghton Point, but still new. Ice in the bay is good. We're averaging anywhere from 12 to 16 inches in the Ashland area out to the lighthouse. Past the lighthouse over to Washburn, looking anywhere from 8 to 10 inches. I was off of Houghton Point yesterday. It varied 6 to 8 inches out in there. So good travel. There's a little bit of snow now, so sled traffic is good. Four-wheeler traffic is good. In and around Ashland, truck travel you can do it coming off of Ashland Career Park out to the lighthouse area. In that general area, I wouldn't go any further than that. Like always, it's best to check ice for yourself. Where I was could be different from where you're at, so always check the ice for yourself. If it looks different, get out, drill a hole, or use a chisel and check it. But our ice conditions are great. Also, the fishing's been pretty good. We've been finding quite a few trout, a lot of splake, a lot of browns, some cohos around as well, even an occasional lake trout as we get out in a little bit deeper water in that off of the first break. But we're catching them trout anywhere from 10 feet of water out to 35 feet of water. I actually caught a really nice splake yesterday in 70 feet of water on the bottom, so you just never know where they're at. Lots of smelt around, a lot of real small smelt, so these fish are really feeding heavy. They seem to be really jacked up on the real bright, high-pressure days, just coming in and slamming the lures. The overcast, low-pressure days seems kind of moving around, slower, tip-ups working a little bit better. So, always vary your approach and always vary your depth and move around. I mean, if you're not getting bit within a half hour, just slide out, go a little bit deeper, or go a little bit shallower and try something different. If one thing isn't working, try something new to see if it's working. So great fishing that way. Catching quite a few perch. The perch around Ashland, you got to sort a little bit more. Up around Bono Creek, finding a few decent ones there. Along the channel edges in Washburn, finding some good ones there. Averaging, there's small fish, of course, but the keepers that we're averaging anywhere from 9 to 11, 12 inches, so you can get a pretty good meal out of them. Whitefish have been going well too. Been catching them as shallow as 20 feet of water, but been catching them out in that deep stuff too. The shallower ones seem to be more aggressive, but you don't see as many of them during the day. You get out in that deeper water, you do see a lot more of them out in that channel from Washburn up to Houghton Point area. Other than that, that's pretty much what we got for catching wise, from splake to browns to whitefish. Some herring around, cohos around, a lot of smelt, perch of course, a few walleyes and some northerns as well. So it's been a pretty good year up here on Chequamegon Bay. Also, I just want to mention that along with my guide service, we've been pretty much working every day. Got this sleeper house rental, and that's been a big hit. We've pretty much every weekend now we're booking up. So if you want to do that, even just use it as your base camp, we're going to be moving it throughout the bay, and even up once we get good ice up here by Bayfield, it'd be a place to stay and base camp out of when you're lake trout fishing and stuff like that. So give me a call on that. That'd be a great thing for people to do. It sleeps 2 really good. It can sleep 3. If you have a cot, bring a cot along. Bring your own sleeping bags and stuff like that. And then we furnish rod and reel, lures, and it's got all rattle reels, all that kind of stuff. And also, you furnish your own bait. So pretty good deal. Check that out on the website as well. And just want to touch on a few different items here for this week, like we always do. First, for people that fish a lot of lake trout and a lot of pike, I got a great product here for you guys. Now, we've all heard of quick strike rigs, which for pike and muskie fishing is a tool that you shouldn't be using. Big Tooth Tackle out of Minnesota, a good friend of mine, Jeff Anderson, has his company, and he's kind of revolutionized the quick strike rig system for winter fishing to kind of hold your bait horizontal in the water. And everything's here. It's got some attractors, got good treble hooks, all that kind of stuff. So when you're fishing pike out here or anywhere, or even lake trout, when you're setting dead bait on the bottom, this is the way to go. Big Tooth Tackle. You can look them up on the website. I'll be hooking up people here in the Chequamegon Bay Apostle Islands region to get these in the store. But there's no better way to catch big pike and big lake trout than using a quick strike rig, because right when you get there, you just set the hook and you usually got them fish hooked up. Also works good on you can use them on an automatic fisherman. They work good on that as well. So Big Tooth Tackle Company. Check them out at bigtoothattackle.com. We got a different sizes, some smaller ones to bigger ones, and I mean, you can see one of the Big Tooth Tackle Pro Staff, Jeff Gustafson. He catches some pretty big pike on these things. So they're the way to go when you're fishing pike and lake trout from here on Lake Superior all the way to Canada. 2 other products I want to talk about quick through Berkley. One is a new product they came out with earlier this year. It's the Gulp Leech, the 1-inch leech. This thing has been working phenomenal for panfish, especially crappies. It quivers really good in the water. It's thin enough. Also for smelt and perch out here, 1-inch Berkley Gulp Leech. Give it a try. Comes in a good little pouch to carry in your pocket and try it. So should be some stores around here. If not, you can order off the website. It's all works really good. And then for lake trout fishermen and people that fish inside their houses a lot, line. I'm a big proponent of Fireline, and I use Fireline fused crystal, especially on my lake trout rigs for fishing deep water. I fish a 20-pound braid, 20-pound test Fireline crystal. And then when I'm in shallow water fishing, I do a lot of fishing inside, I'll switch to this 8-pound Fireline crystal. Works great. Every place carries it, but a lot of people are fishing mono. You can fish it outside, but on them really cold days, you want to fish mono. So usually what I'll do is I'll carry a rod with mono and a rod with Fireline. Them days that are 20 degrees, I can get away. But the cool thing about it is you can feel everything. You can feel just a slight little tick to set the hook. Also works great for pan fishing. They make stuff down to 0.5 pound test, and the diameter is just, you can't barely see it, so it works good. You can get small baits down deep and still have really good feel. So next time you're out looking for line, it lasts a long time. You don't have to change it all year or every year like we do with mono, or like myself, I change my line every month because I use it so much. But a spool goes a long ways. And if you're worried about fish seeing it, just blood knot in or take a small swivel and tie in a piece of fluorocarbon. So Fireline crystal for lake trout bobbing on your rod and reel, and also for shallow water stuff too. Works great. Anyways, that's our report. And again, if you have any questions, send them in an email. If you're interested in rental or guide service, get a hold of me, 715-209-6431. All right, good fishing.